So this is a beginner's guide for everyone who is looking to invest in real estate, specifically buying a land, who is thinking whether now or later on how they're going to go about it. This will guide you. Now, I'm going to be listing out 5 key points to help you. Number one, you need to consider and establish why you are looking to buy a land. Now, the reason you're buying the land is as important as the land itself. Don't go around buying any land. Make sure that it fits the purpose for which you intended to buy it for, and then the goal is established. That's the first thing. Number two is location. You need to consider good location. You need to be strategic in your investment. When you've considered and established why you want to own the land, the next thing you need to consider is the location, especially a location that fits the reason you are buying the land. Let's say you're buying a land for a land banking purpose. You're not buying to build anytime soon. You just want to keep it, get good return on investment when you sell, when you resell in the future. You'll be considering developing location. Although any land can be used for land banking, but it's preferable for quantity's sake. That's the number of plots to be more. You need to consider developing location as opposed developed locations or locations that have hit their prime value. That way you're able to get more plots for less amount. Okay, so location is everything is a common phrase in the real estate space. And there is a reason for that because your location determines if you're going to get a good return on investment or not. And proximity to development is also a thing. 3, documentation for the property. Now, you do not own a land without proper documents. You do not. Don't deceive yourself. Don't go around telling yourself that, oh, I bought it out of trust or anything. Without proper documentation, you do not own the land. Now, you could have a very good location, very strategic location, and yet the documentation being wrong can make your investments go absolutely wrong. No, can actually makes your investments go wrong. So when you're considering buying a land, when you're looking to buy a land, make sure that the documentations are right. Make sure you verified them. 4, time frame for the investment. Some persons are not patient when it comes to real estate investment. They buy a land today and they want to sell in 6 months. If you plan to buy a land to flip, your location will definitely be affected because you will not go and buy an undeveloped location to sell in 3 months, in 6 months. And besides, we don't even recommend that you sell a land that you bought barely 6 months or 1 year. So when you're thinking land investment, you should think long term, especially if you're buying in undeveloped or developing location. Wait for the demand to be high, wait for people to move into that location, and wait for money to be available in that location or businesses to spring up in that location before you go ahead to resell, if that's your goal. And this is why patience is a very important ingredient when it comes to real estate investment. Now, 5, budget. Now, I put budget as the last point because when you've considered all these factors and you've gotten it right, it's like the last thing to talk about, the price of the land. Now, it's necessary that you have a budget before going into the market. However, there are cases where your budget have to be expanded. In situations where you were looking to buy a land and maybe you didn't know the budget around each area in the state. For instance, if you're buying lands in specific parts of River State, there are budgets you should have in mind. You don't go to places like Peter Odulu with a 5 million naira budget. Okay, so your goal, your location, your timing, and the documentation affects the budget. So having listened to all these points, we believe that your next investment will be done right, will be done early, and will be done with us, Real Estate and Constructions. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and drop a comment if you have any. Thank you.